the year was full of upheaval in many places, with extremist militant groups causing fear, possibly none more so than the so-called Islamic State. This year saw the terror group carry out or inspire seemingly countless campaigns, large and small, across the globe. But perhaps none gained as much attention as the deadly series of attacks carried out on the 13th of November in Paris, which left 130 people dead. Gunmen and bombers opened fire at a music hall, a sports stadium, and a number of cafes. French President François Hollande vowed to bring the perpetrators to justice, a sentiment echoed by U.S. President Barack Obama and other world leaders whose countries are participating in a coalition to defeat ISIS.
Those who think that they can terrorize the people of France or the values that they stand for are wrong. We are reminded in this time of tragedy that the bonds of liberté, égalité, and fraternité are not only values that the French people care so deeply about, but they are values that we share.
But efforts to combat the Islamic State were not smooth sailing. Moscow joined in the fight against extremists in Syria, but Vladimir Putin's campaign supported Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, who the West opposes. Tensions have grown, and not only between the East and the West. Relations between Moscow and Ankara were disrupted in November when Turkey shot down a Russian jet it says violated Turkish airspace. Another crisis in 2015 affected all of Europe, an unprecedented wave of refugees fleeing into the continent. Roughly 1 million people traveled to Europe over the last 12 months, and the wave of asylum seekers has thrown European solidarity into question, with many Eastern EU member states saying the border should be closed. German Chancellor Angela Merkel independently led the way in tackling the challenge, accepting over 1 million migrants into her country. But an EU relocation program has so far moved just a few hundred refugees instead of the 160,000 it plans to from Italy and Greece. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini says action is needed.
I felt it was our moral duty to concentrate also on